Well, joining me in studio now is broadcast journalist and social commentator, Princess Deun. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
This, of course, is a really big problem across Africa.
Definitely, a very, very big one. Unfortunately, African young girls still get the short end of the stick, if I can use those words, whereby they're not even given that opportunity to access, appropriate sanitary or hygiene materials when they have their menstrual cycles. And as we saw from that story, and like I know because I work with girls, they use all manners of very unimaginable things.
Yeah. And
they then drop out of school, so it also affects not only their health, but it also affects their education as well. Because once they are out of school for like 5-10 days, out of a month, they've lost so much in education. And that's really sad, especially in the 21st century when we're trying very hard to ensure that girls are empowered and they're also in school to enable them to learn, whether it's academics or learn a trade. And if you're a woman or if you're a girl child, that's just part of who you are. You have to go through a mental cycle so that when you do get to that age when you want to have children, you can then continue to populate the world, as it were.
Now, it really is sad, as you put it, that this happens in Africa, but in countries like South Africa, which is a developing country, you wouldn't think that something like this can be so widespread.
That laugh wasn't, it was like a, how would I put it? It's a laugh of pain. Yeah. Because we have a proverb that when something passes tears, you laugh. South Africa, as it may be, we all see South Africa as probably a combination of Europe and America. But really, that's when we had the apartheid regime and they had, the Dutch there. But now, we can now see that there's a lot more to South Africa. There are people who live in the hinterlands, there are people who live in the villages, and they've never really had access to information. Information is so powerful and so important. Or access to money, because you need money to be able to buy such materials. Yeah. And that is the reality, unfortunately.
Now, if you look at this on a broader level, some girls in Africa are actually isolated because of their menstrual period. Why is that so? Explain that to us.
There are very different reasons depending on the region they're from, or the country, or the tribe. Some tribes, because of their religion and their faith, they see menstruation as a taboo. It's like you're a pariah. If you're a girl and you have your period, you're not meant to sit on the same seats as boys or men. People are not meant to see you, so you're supposed to just go and hide somewhere till after the 5 or 10 days, depending on how many days the cycle is. That's on a religious basis. Some, it's just because of poverty. They can't even afford to get the materials that they need, for hygienic care for themselves. So maybe their parents would ask them to just sit at home. Some dig holes and they just sit on the hole. Yeah. Some use all kinds of things, sticks, leaves. It's just ridiculous. And some, who are maybe a little bit advanced, use like old cloth, and where they have to like recycle it as well. But that in its recycling for me of any menstrual material is dangerous to the health. Because even when you do wash something and you put it out to dry, you don't know what has gotten into it, and then you put it on your body as a young girl, because that's an opening to the body, and you can have cancer, you can have all sorts of tumors, all sorts of things. So it's a sad state of affairs in that kind of situation.
So very briefly, this of course is not just a problem that young girls are facing. Women as well are missing work because of it.
Well, it's more of a problem for young girls. When you're a woman, at least you're mature. You're still able to make some decisions yourself. You're able to, kind of innovate. They say, necessity is the mother of invention, not the father or the brother. So mother means women, and women are able to invent and innovate. But it's always a woman wants a girl. So even women were once girls, and they went through that same situation. But there's light at the end of the tunnel, because the lady we saw in South Africa, she's doing something. There are other companies, also African countries, that are manufacturing sanitary towels, affordable sanitary towels that they're going to be, distributing around African villages and hamlets for young girls.